Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine you're whipping up a quick weeknight dinner, maybe some chicken schnitzels in the air fryer or scrambled eggs in your trusty nonstick pan.
Yeah.
It's convenient, right? It makes life
Mhm.
so much easier when you're rushing after school sports, juggling homework, or just trying to get a nutritious meal on the table for the family.
Totally. That convenience factor is huge for busy parents.
But what if that very convenience, that ease we all crave in our busy Australian lives, came with an invisible, silent cost to your family's health?
Hmm.
These are the questions that often keep us as parents up at night, and today we're diving deep into some truly concerning, yet hopefully empowering answers.
What's truly fascinating, I guess alarming here, is that the very innovations we've embraced for modern living, the products designed to save us time and effort, might actually be introducing what we call forever chemicals into our homes,
Right.
into our food, our water, and most disturbingly, directly into our bodies. And this raises a critical question for all of us. How thoroughly do we truly understand the unseen ingredients in our everyday products, especially when their effects aren't immediately obvious, but rather sort of accumulate over time?
That's precisely the heart of our mission today. We're talking about PFAS per and polyfluoroalkyl substances.
Bit of a mouthful.
It is, and these aren't just obscure scientific terms. They're chemicals that have been making headlines globally. Yet often the scientific explanations get bogged down in jargon, you know.
Yeah, it can be really hard to follow.
Or the sheer scale of the problem feels too immense to truly grasp. So our goal in this deep dive is to cut through all that noise
Yep, get past the jargon.
and translate the complex science into clear, understandable language. We'll share some incredibly compelling and frankly heartbreaking real-life stories that put human faces to these statistics.
That's so important, I think, to see the real impact.
Definitely. We'll uncover shocking numbers that directly impact you and your children, and most importantly, we will provide you with practical, actionable steps for Australian families to protect yourself.
That's the key, the actionable part.
We want to empower you, our listeners, especially parents worried about their children's future, with clear, understandable knowledge so you can make informed choices for a healthier home. So let's start at the beginning. We hear the term PFAS and then forever chemicals, which just sounds inherently scary. But what exactly are we talking about when we use these terms? Can you break it down for us in simple language?
Of course. First, it's important to understand that PFAS isn't a single chemical. It's actually an enormous family of man-made chemicals encompassing over 4,700 different types.
Wow, 4,700. That's huge.
It is. They were first developed way back in the 1930s, but their widespread use really took off in the 1950s. Their chemical structure, specifically this incredibly strong bond between carbon and fluorine atoms, that bond gives them unique properties that we've come to rely on. They're incredibly resistant to heat, water, and oil.
Ah, so these are the qualities that seem like such a boon to modern living.
Right.
I mean, who doesn't appreciate a truly waterproof jacket on a rainy Sydney day? Or like a nonstick pan that makes cleaning up breakfast a breeze?
Exactly. We've all grown up with these products almost taking their performance for granted.
Yeah, definitely. But the forever part of forever chemicals is where the profound and indeed terrifying problem lies, isn't it?
Precisely. The term forever chemicals isn't an exaggeration or, some kind of marketing slogan. It describes their most dangerous and, frankly, insidious characteristic. These chemicals simply do not degrade naturally.
Right.
Not in the environment and not in the human body. Unlike many other substances that break down over time into harmless components, PFAS compounds just persist.
So they just hang around.
They just hang around. Imagine maybe a plastic bottle floating in the ocean. It breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces, microplastics, but it never truly disappears chemically, right? PFAS are even more persistent at a molecular level. They don't disappear from our rivers, they don't break down in the soil, and crucially, once they're inside us, they can stay there for decades, potentially even our entire lives.
Decades. Wow.
Yeah, building up over time with every new exposure. And the truly profound insight here isn't just that they persist, but that every molecule of PFAS ever created is still on our planet.
Oh, that's a chilling thought.
It is. Circulating through our environment and our bodies, creating this cumulative intergenerational burden, unlike almost any other contaminant we've ever faced.
And that persistence inevitably leads to their sheer ubiquity.
Right.
They are literally everywhere.
Hmm.
When we talk about where these invisible chemicals are hiding, we're not just talking about isolated industrial sites, are we? We're talking about items right inside our family homes.
Exactly, right where we live.
Things we interact with every single day without a second thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The list of sources is extensive and, well, quite concerning for parents trying to create a safe home environment. Common household items that directly impact families include the very nonstick pans we rely on,
The trusty pan.
the trusty pan, and the air fryers that have become so popular for quick, maybe healthier meals.
Yep, got one of those.
And even mundane things like fast food wrappers, for that quick takeaway after school sports.
Pizza boxes, too.
Pizza boxes, absolutely. But the presence of PFAS doesn't stop in the kitchen. They're also found in waterproof clothing like jackets and rain gear, our carpets, many cosmetics,
Cosmetics, like what?
things like lipsticks, mascaras, foundations. Anything designed to be long-lasting or waterproof often relies on them.
Right, okay.
And a truly critical one, our drinking water, whether it's tap water in urban areas or well water in rural communities. This pervasive and widespread presence makes avoiding them incredibly challenging without sort of targeted knowledge and proactive choices.
The shocking truth of exposure really drums this home, and it's a statistic that, when I first encountered it, truly stopped me in my tracks. Studies show a staggering 96% of adults carry PFAS in their blood. 96%. Expert, can you explain what that actually means for us, for you listening right now, sitting in your home?
This number is not just a statistic, it's a stark realization. The real takeaway from 96% of adults carrying PFAS isn't just a number, it's the understanding that this isn't an out there problem, affecting a few unlucky people in contaminated areas.
It's not somewhere else.
No, it's an in-us problem. These chemicals are highly likely inside you and inside your children right now. We're not talking about trace amounts in isolated cases. This indicates systemic, widespread human exposure.
It's huge.
And just to illustrate the severity, for people living in, say, heavily contaminated regions, the levels found in their blood can be thousands of times higher than current safety limits.
Thousands of times.
Thousands, far exceeding what's considered safe for human health. This highlights that the silent, invisible nature of these chemicals is perhaps their most insidious quality. It makes us completely unaware of the internal accumulation until, in many cases, it's far too late.
Here's where this deep dive gets really interesting and frankly heartbreaking. These aren't just abstract statistics or, scientific classifications. These are real lives, real families right across the world profoundly impacted by these invisible chemicals. These stories serve as a stark human reminder that behind every scientific finding are people whose lives have been irreversibly changed, people who felt betrayed by the very things they trusted.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these emotional stories aren't isolated incidents. They paint a clear, distressing picture of how PFAS compounds infiltrate our most intimate spaces, our homes, our bodies, our very sense of safety,
Yeah.
and silently leave devastating scars from cancer to developmental harm affecting the most vulnerable among us, our children. They really underscore the profound human cost of these forever chemicals.
Let's begin with Debbie Blankenship from Elkton, Maryland in the U.S. Her story is incredibly poignant, starting with a picture of quiet domesticity. Can you set the scene for her life before this tragedy unfolded?
Yeah, Debbie led a truly quiet, loving life that many of us can probably relate to. Her world revolved around simple pleasures, tending to her vibrant garden, growing blueberries and potatoes in her backyard,
Sounds lovely.
and perhaps most importantly, cherishing her 7 beloved dogs. They were her constant companions, truly like family members, and her garden was her sanctuary. It was just a picture of serene domesticity, a small, peaceful corner of the world.
A life that sounds perfectly ordinary, perfectly lovely. But then this unfolding tragedy began, didn't it? Bringing unimaginable distress to her sanctuary.
Yes. Debbie described this heartbreaking and inexplicable period where her cherished dogs, one by one, just grew terribly sick. They stopped eating and eventually died without any clear diagnosis or explanation from the veterinarians.
Oh, that's awful.
She bore the immense emotional burden of burying them herself, tragically calling her once joyful garden a pet cemetery.
Oh, how dreadful.
It was an immense personal loss, a profound grief compounded by the frustrating mystery of what was systematically destroying her animal family.
And then the tragedy, that invisible threat, struck closer to home. For her.
Indeed. While grieving her dogs, Debbie herself began to experience chronic fatigue, this persistent exhaustion that no amount of rest could alleviate.
Mm.
This eventually led to a devastating cancer diagnosis. For years, she simply attributed these compounding misfortunes to just bad luck, a cruel twist of fate.
You would, wouldn't you?
You might. It wasn't until 2023, after years of suffering and searching for answers, that a water test of her well finally revealed the horrifying truth. Her well water was contaminated with PFOA, a particularly notorious type of PFAS,
Okay.
at an astonishing 1,800 parts per trillion, or PPT.
1,800. That's a truly shocking number, experts, especially when you consider the U.S. EPA's safety limit for PFOA is just 4 pt.
Just 4.
To put that into perspective for our listeners, Debbie's drinking water was found to be an astounding 450 times above what the EPA considered safe for human consumption.
It's almost unbelievable.
This powerfully emphasizes the silent, tasteless, odorless nature of this poison. You wouldn't know it was there, silently accumulating in your body and your beloved pets.
This is such a critical point, and it really can't be overstated. The complete lack of sensory warning, no smell, no taste, no visible residue, means that people like Debbie are exposed unknowingly for extended periods.
Right.
This allows these insidious chemicals to accumulate within their bodies without any immediate alarm, turning a trusted resource like drinking water into a long-term source of harm.
Our next story is about Michael Hickey's unwavering fight in Hoosick Falls, New York. His motivation was intensely personal, born from profound loss, wasn't it?
It was. Michael's father tragically died from kidney cancer, a loss that profoundly impacted him and sparked this deeply personal investigation. Michael, being an observant member of his community, began to notice a troubling cluster of illnesses, cancers, thyroid issues, among his neighbors and friends.
Ah, okay. He started connecting the dots.
He did. He couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that something environmental, something unseen, was at play, connecting these seemingly disparate health issues.
And what's truly incredible is that Michael, by his own admission, not a scientist, took the initiative to become a citizen scientist himself, when official channels were perhaps slow to respond.
Absolutely. He embodied the spirit of proactive citizen engagement. Despite initial skepticism and, dismissals from official bodies, Michael painstakingly took local drinking water samples from his community.
On his own.
On his own, yeah. And crucially, sent them for independent testing at his own expense. His persistence and refusal to accept the status quo were pivotal in exposing a hidden crisis that had been unfolding for decades.
And his discovery was absolutely staggering, forcing a reevaluation of the entire town's safety.
The initial tests Michael commissioned revealed PFOA in the drinking water at over 500 ppt,
Still huge.
which was already incredibly alarming. But subsequent, more comprehensive confirmations by authorities showed levels that were, in some areas, more than 100,000 times above the most protective guidelines set for safe drinking water.
100,000 times. I can barely comprehend that number.
It's mind-boggling. This wasn't just contamination. It was an unprecedented level of widespread chemical saturation.
And his persistence, despite that initial resistance, had a massive, life-altering impact on the entire town of Hoosick Falls.
It did. Michael's tireless fight forced regulatory attention and ultimately led to the exposure of decades of widespread PFAS contamination that had gone unnoticed and unaddressed.
Oh, gosh.
This extensive exposure was subsequently linked to a horrifying array of health problems for thousands of residents in Hoosick Falls, including various cancers, widespread thyroid problems, and significant immune system damage.
Just devastating for a community.
Absolutely. What began as a personal tragedy for Michael transformed into a community-wide awakening, compelling national action, and serving as a powerful warning of these silent, long-term environmental threats.
Moving beyond individual stories, there's Ronneby, Sweden, a case that highlights a truly generational burden, particularly on mothers and their children. This must be an especially painful situation for parents to comprehend.
This case is horrifying because it brings to light the reality of prenatal exposure, a truly vulnerable pathway for these chemicals. Mothers in Ronby discovered, to their profound distress, that PFAS had been passing silently to their babies before birth.
Oh no, how did they find that out?
It was confirmed through scientific analysis of stored placentas and umbilical cord blood, providing irrefutable evidence of this deeply intimate form of contamination.
Wow, that must have been just awful news.
It's a profound betrayal of trust in the very safety of one's own body during the most crucial developmental stages.
And the emotional toll on these mothers, feeling that they might have inadvertently harmed their own children, must have been immense.
It was devastating. One Ronaby mother's poignant quote truly captures this anguish. "I wanted to be a good mother. I was so stupid."
Oh, that's heartbreaking. She wasn't stupid at all. She was betrayed.
Exactly. It reveals the deep feelings of guilt, shame, and helplessness that these mothers experienced, emphasizing the profound sense of betrayal that their own bodies, meant to nurture and protect, had inadvertently become a pathway for harm to their children. It underscores the immense psychological burden that PFAS contamination places on families.
What about the children's health in Ronaby's specifically?
Yeah.
What did the scientific studies reveal about their exposure and health outcomes?
The data from Ronaby is alarming and paints a grim picture. Children in Ronaby had PFAS blood levels measured at a shocking 37 times higher than children living in clean, uncontaminated areas.
37 times higher.
Yes. And in some extreme individual cases, the levels were an astonishing 1,000 times above recognized safety limits.
1,000 times again. Unbelievable.
This incredibly high exposure is directly linked to a higher risk of significant health issues, including language developmental delays, a weaker immune system response making them more susceptible to illnesses,
Right.
and lower vaccine responses, meaning they might not gain full protection from routine immunizations. These impacts affect their foundational development and long-term health prospects.
Then we have the Mullins family in North Carolina, USA, whose daily struggle became a very visible and constant reminder of the problem right within their own home.
For the Mullins family, PFAS wasn't an abstract or invisible threat. It was a tangible daily burden. Their home's tap water was tested and found to contain 14 pp PFAS.
Okay, so still above the safe limits.
Significantly above the safety guidelines, yes. This meant that a constant physical reminder of the contamination entered their lives. Regular, heavy bottled water deliveries every 2 weeks, specifically for their grandson because their own home's tap water was deemed unsafe.
So they couldn't even use their tap water.
Not safely, no. This transformed a basic necessity, something most of us take for granted, from a simple convenience into a daily struggle for survival, a constant drain on their resources and peace of mind.
Wow. And finally, a significant U.S. mother-child study uncovered a hidden price being paid by teenagers years after their initial exposure.
Yes, this comprehensive study, which meticulously tracked over 1,100 mother-child pairs for many years, revealed the insidious long-term impact of prenatal PFAS exposure.
So exposure before they were even born.
Exactly. By the time these children reached their teenage years, they showed a concerning trend: elevated blood pressure.
Oh, really? In teenagers?
In teenagers, yes. A significant and well-known risk factor for lifelong heart disease and other cardiovascular problems. What's more, the study noted a stronger and more pronounced impact in boys and Black children, highlighting important nuances in vulnerability and risk within the population.
That's important to note.
It underscores that the effects of these forever chemicals can manifest silently, years or even decades after initial exposure, continuing to impact health across the lifespan.
So we've heard the emotional stories. We've understood the profound impact on real families. But what does all of this mean when we look at the pure science, the detailed studies? Scientists now warn that PFAS may be linked to more than 50 different health problems.
50, yeah. It's a staggering number.
It really is. Let's break down some of the most critical categories in easy-to-understand language because this directly impacts you and your kids.
Absolutely. This truly paints a comprehensive and frankly alarming picture. It's not about one isolated effect. It's about a cascade of disruptions that PFAS can cause throughout the entire human body.
A cascade.
Yeah, from the most fundamental cellular processes to major organ systems and even overall lifespan. Understanding this depth of impact is crucial for making informed choices about how we live and what we bring into our homes. Let's go through these systematically.
Okay, let's start with cancer risks, which for any parent is often the most frightening word to hear. What are the direct and emerging links here?
Right. PFAS compounds have some of the strongest human data directly linking them to several forms of cancer. We have clear, robust evidence, notably from things like the C8 Science Panel and extensive U.S. EPA research, pointing to increased risks of kidney cancer and testicular cancer.
Okay, those two are pretty solid links then.
Very solid. For kidney cancer specifically, studies from highly exposed communities have shown the risk nearly doubled.
Bold. Wow.
Beyond these established links, emerging research and ongoing reviews by the EPA indicate strong links to prostate cancer, which is obviously a significant concern for men,
Hmm.
and growing evidence for liver cancer based on both human and animal biomarker studies. We're also seeing concerning links to thyroid cancer and even other conditions like ulcerative colitis, a severe inflammatory bowel disease, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is a growing epidemic itself.
Gosh, that's a lot just under the cancer umbrella. Moving on, how do these chemicals interfere with our internal messaging system, our hormones? What about hormonal and endocrine disorders?
Yeah, this is a huge area. PFAS are potent endocrine disruptors. That means they significantly interfere with the body's delicate hormonal balance, which governs almost every bodily function.
Right. Hormones control so much.
Everything. This disruption can manifest as thyroid disease, covering both hypo and hyperthyroidism, leading to issues with metabolism, energy, mood.
All those things.
Critically, for our youngest, it can cause altered thyroid hormone levels in newborns, which are absolutely essential for proper brain development.
Oh, that's crucial.
It really is. These chemicals can also disrupt puberty timing, leading to earlier or later onset in children, which can have significant psychological and physiological impacts.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Furthermore, there's a suspected link to polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, a common hormonal disorder affecting millions of women, often causing irregular periods, fertility issues, and other symptoms like weight gain. The idea that PFAS could contribute to this is incredibly concerning for reproductive health.
So if they're messing with hormones, it's not surprising they'd have a profound impact on reproduction and pregnancy. What are the specific risks here for families planning to conceive or those already pregnant?
Yeah, the impacts on reproductive health are substantial and span all stages. Studies showed reduced fertility in women, with some groups experiencing up to 40% lower pregnancy rates.
40% lawyer, that's massive.
It's huge. For those who do conceive, there's an increased risk of miscarriage and serious pregnancy complications like pregnancy-induced hypertension or preeclampsia, which can be life-threatening for both mother and baby.
Oh gosh, preeclampsia is serious.
Very serious. For newborns, exposure is linked to low birth weight, premature birth, and smaller head circumference, all indicators of impaired development. For men, there's evidence of reduced semen quality, affecting both sperm count and motility, which is crucial for conception.
So it affects male fertility too.
Absolutely. And across life stages, we see effects like delayed puberty in girls and earlier menopause onset, extending the reach of PFAS throughout the entire reproductive lifespan, really, from conception right through to later years.
That's a staggering range of effects before, during, and after pregnancy. And on the topic of our youngest, how does PFAS exposure affect child development and growth, particularly when considering their early, rapid development?
This area is particularly alarming because, as we mentioned, exposure often begins even before birth. These PFAS compounds readily pass through the placenta from mother to child.
Right, straight through.
And this early exposure continues through breast milk, contaminated drinking water, and food. Documented effects include language developmental delays, like we saw tragically in the Ronneby, Sweden case, as well as an increased prevalence of ADHD and other behavioral disorders. Studies have also consistently shown reduced IQ and cognitive performance in exposed children,
Oh, that's worrying.
impaired physical growth in infants and toddlers, and even shorter breastfeeding duration due to potentially altered maternal milk supply.
Wow.
The silent and insidious nature of this early exposure, impacting a child's most formative years, makes it particularly devastating.
The idea that these chemicals could weaken a child's fundamental ability to fight off illness is terrifying for any parent. What do we know about their impact on the immune system and our natural defenses against infections?
This is truly one of the clearest and most consistently observed harms of PFAS, a profoundly weaker immune response.
Okay, so this is a really strong link.
Very strong. A landmark study and others that followed revealed a shocking 20–30% weaker vaccine antibody response in children exposed to PFAS.
Well, 20 to 30% weaker. What does that mean in practice?
What it means is that even after getting vaccinated against common childhood illnesses like measles or tetanus, these children may not develop the same level of protective antibodies as unexposed children.
So the vaccine might not work as well.
Potentially, yes, it could leave them less protected and more vulnerable. Beyond vaccine response, we also see more frequent respiratory infections, reduced white blood cell function, those are critical for fighting off pathogens,
Right.
and an increased risk of autoimmune diseases like thyroiditis and lupus-like disorders, where the body's immune system mistakenly attacks its own tissues.
That's deeply concerning for any parent who relies on vaccinations to protect their children. Let's talk about heart and metabolic health. These are common concerns for many Australians as they age.
Yeah, absolutely. PFAS strongly affect two major drivers of cardiovascular disease and metabolic dysfunction. They are directly linked to high cholesterol,
Okay.
with exposed groups showing consistent increases of 10-20 milli-GDL in total cholesterol, elevated LDL or bad cholesterol, and raised triglycerides.
So all the bad stuff goes up.
Pretty much. Hypertension or high blood pressure is also a significant concern, including that pregnancy-induced hypertension we talked about.
Right.
On the metabolic front, we frequently observe insulin resistance, which is a critical precursor to type 2 diabetes.
Okay, the path to diabetes.
Exactly. And indeed, an increased risk of type 2 diabetes itself. Ultimately, this can contribute to metabolic syndrome, which is that dangerous cluster of obesity, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol problems. It significantly increases overall disease risk and contributes to a shorter, less healthy life.
So what about our vital organs that work tirelessly to detoxify our bodies, like the liver and kidneys? Are they affected too?
They are. Liver toxicity is a consistent and concerning finding in both human and animal studies investigating PFAS exposure. Biomarkers like elevated liver enzymes, AST, ALT, ALP, are clear distress signals.
What does that mean, elevated liver enzymes?
Well, these are proteins that usually stay inside your liver cells. When the liver is damaged or inflamed, these enzymes leak out into your bloodstream, basically telling doctors something is wrong. We also see increased bile acids, which further indicate liver strain. For the kidneys, we observe kidney dysfunction markers and an increased risk of chronic kidney disease, which can lead to severe health complications and ultimately kidney failure.
So hitting our key filters hard.
Exactly. These organs are crucial for detoxification and maintaining the body's internal balance, and their impairment has widespread implications for overall health.
And breathing, something we do without thinking. Can PFAS impact our lungs and respiratory system? I know you mentioned airborne exposure earlier.
Yes, absolutely. Increasingly, airborne PFAS exposure is now recognized as a major concern, affecting our most fundamental life process. Research has shown, for instance, a reduced fetal lung capacity by 10–15% due to prenatal PFAS exposure.
10 to 15%. Wow.
And in laboratory studies, we've seen a shocking 60% suppression of surfactant.
Surfactant, what's that?
It's a crucial substance that lines the air sacs in our lungs, keeping them open and healthy, preventing them from collapsing when we breathe out.
Ah, okay. Very important then.
Critically important. Additionally, there's been a 50% higher oxidative stress in airway cells, leading to inflammation and cellular damage. These documented effects contribute to a higher risk of asthma.
Which so many Aussie kids have.
Exactly. And a possible link to COPD, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, a progressive and debilitating condition impacting breathing throughout life.
And are there any other documented effects we should be aware of beyond these major categories that you've just outlined? The sheer breadth of this problem is truly astonishing.
Unfortunately, yes. The scope of PFAS impact is truly broad and systemic. Other documented effects include general immune suppression in adults, making them more susceptible to illness.
Okay.
Lower bone density, meaning bones become weaker and more fragile, increasing fracture risk, delayed wound healing.
Really?
Yeah. We've also seen altered gut microbiome composition, disrupting that crucial balance of bacteria in our gut that affects everything from digestion to immunity, even mental health.
Right. The gut microbiome is so important.
Various skin conditions like eczema and chronic rashes are also being linked. Emerging research even suggests potential links to eye problems, such as macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss. And perhaps the most sobering finding, observed in large studies, is the link to increased all-cause mortality,
Meaning?
meaning a higher risk of dying from any cause. This underscores how PFAS can subtly yet profoundly shorten lifespan and diminish overall health, impacting virtually every system in the body.
So this has been a lot to take in, truly overwhelming at times. We've gone from the science to the deeply personal stories of suffering. But the big question for us as Australian parents is, what can we actually do about this?
Right, the what now question.
Exactly. The good news, and there is good news, is that while the problem is widespread, many key exposures happen right in our homes, right in our kitchens, and we can make meaningful changes.
Indeed. The focus on our homes is critical because it's where we have the most direct control over our environment and the products our families interact with daily.
Yeah, that feels empowering.
It is. Understanding these common exposure pathways and then actively identifying and choosing safer alternatives provides a tangible, empowering route to significantly reducing risk for ourselves and our children. It's about taking back control where we can.
And when we talk about home exposure, the kitchen products seem to be one of the biggest culprits, don't they? Why do our beloved nonstick pans and the increasingly popular air fryers matter so much in this fight against PFAS?
They matter significantly because of the direct way PFAS can be released into our food. The nonstick coatings on many traditional pans and air fryer baskets are made with PFAS.
Quick.
Over time, just due to everyday use scratches from utensils cooking at high temperatures, remember that 260 degrees Celsius we mentioned?
Yeah, not even that high.
Exactly, easily reached. And just general wear and tear, these PFAS chemicals can break down and leach directly into our food.
Straight into the schnitzel.
Straight into the schnitzel, yes. This creates a very direct and frequent pathway for these chemicals to enter our bodies. So the message is clear and simple. Avoid PFAS in cookware and cooking appliances whenever possible.
Okay, so if we're making the conscious decision to move away from traditional PFAS-coated nonstick, what are our safer, healthier alternatives that still allow us to cook efficiently and deliciously? Let's do a quick comparison.
Certainly, there are excellent and durable alternatives available. Let's run through them. First, traditional nonstick, PFAS coated. We know them. They're convenient, slick, easy cleanup, low oil cooking needed.
Yep, the appeal is obvious.
But the big downside, as we've said, the coating inevitably scratches, wears out, and can release harmful toxins, especially at high heat. They contain PFOA, PFOS, other PFAS linked to all those health issues. So the recommendation, actively phase these out.
Okay, ditch the old nonstick. What's next?
Stainless steel. This is an excellent, widely available alternative.
Like what restaurants often use.
Exactly. Its pros are numerous, incredibly durable, often dishwasher safe, can last for decades, and crucially, no coatings whatsoever. 100% PFAS free.
Okay, any cons?
The main one is that food can stick if the pan isn't properly preheated or if you don't use a little oil or fat. There's a slight learning curve, maybe.
Right, you need the right technique.
But once you get it, it's fantastic. Best suited for searing, sautéing, boiling, general everyday use, a real workhorse.
Third option. What else?
Cast iron, seasoned. Another fantastic and timeless choice, really popular again now.
Yeah, they look great too.
They do. When properly seasoned, it develops a naturally non-stick surface over time. A bonus is it can add small amounts of dietary iron to your food.
Oh, interesting.
Cast iron can last for generations if cared for, truly sustainable and PFAS-free. The drawbacks, it's heavy.
Definitely heavy.
And it requires specific seasoning and care, no harsh soaps, dry thoroughly to prevent rust. Best for frying, baking, stews, high-heat cooking.
Okay, needs a bit of love.
It does, but it repays you.
Sure.
Then there's ceramic-coated PFAS-free options.
These look like non-stick, often.
They do. They offer a slick, easy, clean surface, often lighter than cast iron. The key, however, is to ensure they are truly PFAS-free.
Ah, the catch.
Yes. Many are marketed as PFOA-free, but that's not the same as being PFAS-free.
Right, PFOA is just one of thousands.
Exactly. The coating can also wear over time, similar to traditional nonstick, and they often require hand washing. So, crucial tip. Check labels incredibly carefully. Look for clear, explicit PFAS-free labeling.
Got it. PFAS-free, not just PFOA-free.
Precisely. And finally, carbon steel. This is a great option. Sort of sits between cast iron and stainless steel.
Okay, how so?
It's lighter than cast iron, and like cast iron, it seasons into a natural nonstick surface over time, making it completely PFAS-free. Needs regular cleaning, can rust if not cared for, similar to cast iron. It's particularly excellent for wok cooking, stir-fries, searing, great heat retention.
Okay, lots of good options there. That's really helpful. Now, air fryers. They've practically become a staple in many Australian kitchens these days. Crunchy chips, roasted veggies.
Quick and easy.
Super quick. How do we navigate this modern kitchen challenge to ensure we're not inadvertently exposing our families to PFAS?
Yeah, the challenge with air fryers is that, much like the pans, many popular models use PFS-based non-stick coatings on their baskets and trays for sticking and cleanup.
Makes sense.
The solution for Aussie families is to be intentional with your purchase. Actively choose air fryers that feature clearly labeled PFAS-free ceramic coatings, or, even better, those with stainless steel interiors. Stainless steel provides a completely inert cooking surface.
Okay, so look for ceramic or stainless steel interiors, specifically labeled PFAS-free. Got it. Let's get specific for our Australian listeners. When we're heading to, say, Harvey Norman or JB Hi-Fi, what are some of the safer air fryer recommendations we can find right now?
Certainly. Here are some specific recommendations available in those established Australian retailers. For smaller households, maybe 1, 2 people, or if you just want a smaller capacity, say under 6 liters, there's the Sunbeam Alinea Diamond Force Air Fryer. It's a 4-liter model, marketed as PFAS-free using their Diamond Force coating, usually around $79 at JB Hi-Fi. Good entry-level, safer option.
Okay, Sunbeam Diamond Force.
Another excellent choice is the Green Pan Bistro 1 basket air fryer. This one's a bit bigger, 5-6 liters, and uses a proper ceramic nonstick PFAS-free coating. Around $199 at Harvey Norman or Meijer. Green Pan's generally good on non-toxic coatings.
Green Pan Bistro.
Okay.
And for families needing more space.
For families needing that larger capacity, say 7-9 liters, the Green Pan Bistro XXL Dual Zone Air Fryer is an 8-liter model. Same reliable ceramic nonstick, PFAS-free coating. About $170 at Meijer or Harvey Norman. Dual Zone can be handy too.
Yep, cook 2 things at once.
Exactly. And for those who prefer the ultimate inert surface, the Miguel Mestre 8-liter stainless steel air fryer is a fantastic choice. It's got a full stainless steel interior, inherently PFAS-free. More robust, maybe around $207 at Harris Scarf. No coating to worry about.
Miguel Maestra stainless steel. Okay, those are great specific options, thanks. But beyond specific models, what's the essential buying checklist for Australian consumers to keep in mind, generally when they're in the appliance aisle, maybe looking at other brands?
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial to be an informed and discerning consumer. First, hammer this home again. PFOA-free does not equal PFAS-free. PFOA is just one type. Look for explicit, clear PFAS-free labeling. If it doesn't say it, assume it might contain them.
Be skeptical.
Be skeptical. Second, consider capacity in liters. A 4-liter is often too small even for 2 people. For families, go larger, 7 to 9 liters, to avoid cooking in multiple batches.
A good practical tip.
Third, wattage. Affects cooking speed and energy use. Most are 1500, 2400 W. Higher watts, faster cooking, more power used.
Makes sense.
Fourth, think about price versus longevity and safety. Stainless steel or truly ceramic PFAS-free might cost a bit more upfront, but they offer significant long-term safety and durability. Better investment for health and wallet long-term.
Pay a bit more now, save later, maybe.
Potentially, yes. And finally, retailer trust. Buy from big, established Australian stores, Meijer, Harvey Norman, JB Hi-Fi, The Good Guys, Harris Scarf. They offer reliability, clear warranties, easier returns if needed, gives you that extra layer of protection.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, diving deep into PFAS, the science, the stories, and the practical steps for your home. Learning about these forever chemicals can feel incredibly overwhelming, can't it?
It really can. It's heavy stuff.
It can leave you feeling a sense of unease, perhaps even stress, thinking about all the invisible threats around us. But taking control of our health means not just avoiding harm, but also proactively seeking ways to enhance our well-being. To find those essential moments of relaxation, strength, and recovery in our incredibly busy lives.
This raises a truly important question. Amidst making these crucial protective choices for our families, filtering water, choosing safer cookware, how do we, as Australian moms and dads who are constantly on the go, juggling everything, how do we also prioritize our own energy and recovery?
Yeah, self-care often falls way down the list, doesn't it?
Way down. But your well-being is foundational to your family's health. You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
Exactly. And that's where truly innovative tools for personal wellness come in. For example, for those looking to actively support their body and mind, to genuinely enhance their fitness and relaxation routine, Original Oriums offers wellness solutions that many Australians are already trusting to do just that.
Yep.
It's about being proactive, about finding ways to boost your body's natural capabilities and to recover more effectively after a long day or maybe a challenging workout.
What's truly fascinating here is that this isn't just about trying something new. It's about embracing technology that's already proven its worth to thousands. The EMS technology in many Oriums products.
EMS, can you quickly explain what that is?
Sure. EMS stands for electrical muscle stimulation. It uses gentle electrical impulses to contract muscles. It's used in fitness for strengthening and toning, and also in recovery and relaxation to help soothe muscles.
Right. Okay. So that technology is already trusted by over 10,000 Aussies.
10,000, yeah. And it was even voted year's best 2 years in a row in both 2024 and 2025.
Wow, 2 years running.
That kind of widespread adoption and consistent acclaim speaks volumes about its effectiveness. It's a fantastic example of how smart technology can genuinely support your body, whether you're looking to boost muscle recovery after exercise, alleviate tension, or simply wind down and find a moment of calm after a long day of parenting.
So if you already have Orium's products, this is maybe a reminder to use it regularly. Integrate it into your routine.
Exactly. And if you haven't tried it, that level of trust and recognition is a compelling invitation to explore how it could benefit your wellness journey.
And it's incredibly reassuring to know that Orium's stands by its quality, offering a limited conditional lifetime warranty program on its EMS products when purchased at full price.
A lifetime warranty, that's pretty significant.
It is. That's a real commitment to quality and customer satisfaction, ensuring that your investment in your wellness journey is protected for the long haul. It speaks volumes about the confidence they have in their products.
Absolutely. That long-term commitment from a brand is a strong indicator of their confidence and their dedication to user satisfaction. It certainly encourages consistent use, knowing you're backed by such a robust promise.
And for a different kind of self-care, for those moments you need an immersive escape from the daily grind, Orium's also offers devices like the Neck Theater. Now, this is important to understand. This is an 8D audio device.
Okay, 8D audio, what does that mean?
It means it's designed to provide an incredible immersive sound experience. It creates a sense of sound moving all around you. But crucially, it's not a massager.
Right, so it doesn't physically massage your neck, it's about the sound experience.
It's about mental relaxation and sensory engagement through high-quality audio, transporting you to a place of calm through sound. And it also comes with a solid warranty-free replacement for faulty devices within 2 years or after 2 years with an equivalent value purchase. So continued peace of mind there too.
It's about finding that essential balance, isn't it? We've talked extensively today about avoiding harm, proactively reducing exposure to chemicals like PFAS.
Yeah, the defensive side.
But equally important is actively nurturing your overall well-being. Finding small, consistent ways to support your body and mind, whether through mindful kitchen choices or dedicated wellness routines like those offered by Orium's, is a powerful and proactive step in taking charge of your family's overall health and, indeed, your own resilience in this often challenging world. Hashtag tech outro.
Today we've gone on a deep dive into PFAS, those forever chemicals that have silently woven their way into our lives, often through the very products designed to make our busy schedules a little easier.
Yeah, the convenience trap sometimes.
Exactly. We've heard the emotional stories of real people and families whose lives have been irrevocably altered. We've understood the shocking science behind more than 50 different health problems linked to these insidious substances.
50 plus, yeah.
And most importantly, we've explored practical, actionable steps you can take in your own home right here in Australia to protect the ones you love.
Indeed. The message we hope you take away today is clear and profound. Health is truly worth more than convenience.
That's a good takeaway.
Making informed choices, especially regarding the everyday items in our kitchens, our cookware, our air fryers, our drinking water, is one of the most impactful ways we can actively protect ourselves and our children from these persistent and pervasive threats.
Yeah.
This deep dive raises an important question for all of us, really. What other invisible influences are subtly shaping our health? And how can we, as proactive Australian parents, continue to be curious, learn, and empower ourselves with knowledge to ensure a healthier, safer future for our families?
That's a powerful thought to leave you with, and an ongoing journey for all of us. So, as you go about your week, we encourage you to take those first steps. Perhaps check your cookware drawer tonight.
Have a look.
Actively look for PFAS-free labels when you're shopping. Consider the safer alternatives we discussed today. Remember, awareness is always the crucial first step towards truly meaningful protection.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power here.
Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time for another essential conversation.